houses at the same time, 10 people, you got 80 directional signs. Has any company ever had 80 directional signs out in one day?
No.
In this
Only
town?
track builders, that's all.
Correct, right, track builders could,
Yeah.
that's right.
Back in the day, I gotta say, Harrington ERA was pretty
Okay,
big on that
okay,
stuff.
good.
But not now.
Well, we're gonna be the yellow plate. And here's the difference, sustainability. What did I say the reason Jim's so successful with? He stayed consistent like this. See, we're starting this and we don't give up. It's not like we're gonna try these open houses and see if they work. You know, this is just as long as we're together, as long as we're whiter, this is the thing. Okay, all right. Commit to open houses, work together as a team, so we want as many homes open as possible simultaneously, as I've talked about, with multiple signs. We believe to establish a routine of open houses. Prospects will start looking for your signs. Listen, here's another dynamic in the market. Sellers start becoming aware that they could go out any Sunday and visit open houses, because they see this yellow crap going on every week.
That's the big thing. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
You know how I feel about open houses, guys. This is awesome.
It is, absolutely, and it's going to change. It's going to, and I told y'all you're going to have copycats. The other offices, and what's going to happen is it's going to be individual agents within the office that are going to go, hey, I can do that, and they're going to go out and buy directional signs. Now, I want y'all to listen. Here, this is key. They're going to copycat you. You're going to start seeing some agents, maybe a whole office will take on this thing, and they'll go out and they'll buy some more directional signs, and you'll start seeing more balloons and more directional signs. The reason they will not have any changed result is that there is no office system behind them ensuring that they're doing the before and the after. You follow? So all they're doing is replicating the visible part of what we're doing with our open house system, and that's not the complete system.
Right.
All right? So I want y'all to be prepared for that. Bank on it. $100 says somebody's going to start putting balloons and more directional signs out. Okay? Happens every time. All right? They should be open for at least 3 hours or an hour longer than our competition. Perhaps, I'm going to tell you what, I'm kind of, you know, I've heard too many agents that have been very effective doing two-hour open houses in the same period of time, that kind of stuff. But generally speaking, that's what we're looking at. However, a motivated seller, when are they going to show up at an open house?
At the very end.
Usually. You schedule it from 1 to 4, most of the people show up 3:45.
Or as you're walking in.
As you're walking in, or as you're walking in. You schedule 1 to 2, most people show up 1:45, right? Or, well, not really, but I mean, you know, but 3 hours is kind of our established gig that you need to, if you're just going to be doing one a week. More people you invite, the more traffic you'll get, and the key to that is inviting actively, not passively through media, but the more people you put those door hangers on their doorknob and knock on the door, the more people you have coming. Invite the neighbors for a preview the first hour. That's done a lot, where we, in our knocking on doors or calling the neighbors saying, hey, just want to let you know there's an open house happening this Sunday, you know, on your street. If you've experienced any extra traffic, apologize in advance, but thank you for your patience. You know, that kind of stuff. And then they go, oh, hey, how much is it? And you go, well, it's $185, and by the way, we're having a special hour before for the neighbors to come by and see it. We'd like to invite you. Now, did y'all hear that dialogue and the flow of what I did? We didn't talk about this yesterday, did we? Use cold calling for invitation? Okay. And again, this is going to be a broker decision. Most brokers in Weigert decide that calling to invite people to open houses, if done properly, you don't have to use the do not call list. Y'all follow? Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you why. Well, first of all, let me ask you this. I used to get tickled when the do not call list first came out, because these agents, you know, they go, oh God, they're going to put us out of business with this do not call list. I'm like, well, how many calls did you make last week? None, but I was getting ready to, by God. Now I can't do it. So what we need to understand was, right?
Right.
It was not realtors that caused the do not call list. You can't piss people off when you're not calling them. It was It was long distance phone calls and the vinyl siding people. It was long distance service. Remember that when everybody had a landline, you had to have your long distance card and all that kind of stuff. So here's what we do, and we actually we'll have this dialogue printed sometimes on our little iCall sheets. And by the way, when we talk about iCall sessions, the open house invitation calls are the most important calls to make. But you pick up the phone, you call and say, hey, look, this is Kirk Miller with Weichert Realtors, First Class. I just want to let you know we're having an open house at 123 Brown Street, just around the corner from you, this Sunday. And if you experience any extra traffic in the neighborhood, that's why. Thank you for your patience in advance.
Oh, that's clever.
Isn't that cute?
That's
now,
clever.
did I solicit anything from them?
No.
Now, what 9 times out of 10, maybe 10 out of 10, when you get a neighbor on the phone and you do that dialogue, what do they do?
How much?
How much? How much? Or something more specific even. Like, now do they really have an indoor pool? You know, or something like that. You know, they haven't known. At that moment, if they were on the do not call list, what did they do?
They
They took themselves off.
Right.
Okay? And if they don't, and by the way, that dialogue I gave you, by the way, this is Kirk Miller with Weichert Realtors First Choice. Just want to let you know that we're having an open house down the street from you. Experiencing extra traffic this Sunday. That's why I thank you in advance. You're giving that on their voicemail as well. Okay? So thanks a lot. You hang up. Guess what will happen? They will call you back and say, oh, really? How much? You know, and then you got a conversation going on. Okay? All right, so that's going to be up to you guys about the calling stuff, but that strategy is best done in the context of an iCall session where we're all in here together. Okay? All right. Invite neighbors, open house should be manned the entire time, right? Have a backup agent if necessary. Well, you're not going to be leaving, and in some cases it's a good idea to have 2 people, you know, on site. I had a sign made up that said open house now. And occasionally I'd have a cream puff vacant listing on a highly trafficked thoroughfare. Y'all with me? Like Main Street in Richmond, Kentucky, where I sold. And I would go, I've done do this like 3 or 4 times, and I get houses there vacant. The homeowners are gone, they're out of town. And I would put that sign in the front yard about 4:30 in the afternoon and go sit in the house. I put up a couple balloons. And people stop by on the way back from work, you know, curiosity seekers. And the first person that came in that I would, you know, be talking to them, and they would, and I'd go, you know, you want to go, you don't like this house, you want to go look at some other houses? They go, yeah. I go, great, let's go. And I go pick the sign up and put it in the front. It was like fishing. You know.
Put a line in.
Was anybody expecting me to be, I hadn't advertised it.
Right.
The only people that knew that we were open were the people that drove by.
That's great.
If they didn't decide to stop, they're, whatever.
It's all right.
Okay, open house now. Now, we've got Weichert agents all over Florida that do that all the time.
That's great.
All the time, because of the suggestion we made to them years ago. So it's just something fun to do. All right, open house should be manned the entire time, have a backup agent if necessary. 3 components of a successful open house, like we talked about, before, during, and after. Choose a home to hold open. All homes should be held open unless otherwise agreed to. You're committing to it indoors, right? Remember, we got to deal with that. Now, when we get to the open house section, and you're dealing with a trailer, you know, leaning, how are you going to handle that? What if they got a crappy house and they want an open house on it? And you don't want an open house on it? Hello.
Clean it up.
Clean it up, maybe? Okay, all right. What if it's outside of where it would make sense to do one? Tell them. That's the answer. It's really, see, you start trying to think. Tell them. It wouldn't make any sense for us to have an open house at your home because we can't get anybody out. You're too far away. They'll understand that stuff. It's crazy. Now, or it would take some serious reclamation of the physical property before we could hold an open house because people would not come in. Okay? So you're gonna have to do something in that range. You follow?
Yeah.
Something in there, but the key is just be honest. Just tell them what's going on. You know, I hate salesmanship language. Salesmanship language lets you not be a salesperson. Telling people the honest truth and what needs to be done is being a salesperson, and that's honesty. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, and that's what they want, by the way. Okay, all listings held over, things considered, homes with good traffic flow, high or rare turnover rate, either one, right? Y'all get that statement? It could be a subdivision of, 50 exclusive old homes that only once every 5 years does one come for sale. Okay, so that would be a off the chart. We have open houses in Brooklyn, New York now, just over the the Manhattan Bridge or the Brooklyn Bridge right there, new areas and do stuff. They'll have open houses and have 75, 80 people have to shut the little road down. It's flight from Manhattan because they can afford to come over there. So you'll find some weird pockets in your market where when you do an open house, you'll just get run over. Where do you think that's going to be? You'll find out. Okay.
St. John's Commons used to be pretty popular.
Okay, yeah. Well, you'll be surprised. You'll find when you start getting these listings to do these open houses, you'll find some patterns. You might even be creating patterns in the marketplace. Okay? All right, so high rare turnover. Coordinate with other agents, maximize the area. We talked about these things, curb appeal pricing. It's got to be priced right. Sellers, I'm not going to go through all these things. Y'all are going to have this checklist. It's part of your open house scheduler and the materials that you've got in there, but contact the sellers, make sure that they're good with it, get it scheduled up on the board, give the sellers a checklist. We've got all these tools, right? Y'all have used some of these for staging their home. Ask for a phone number, make sure you can reach them when they're gone, during the open house if it blows up or something. Remind them to put valuables away, children, pets off premises, remove all hazards, etc. Designate one bathroom for guest use. That's a weird one, but I guess that's okay. Yeah. I just think people not use the bathroom when they're there, but that's okay. If you host someone else's listing, the listing agent needs to do this, and the host confirms with the listing agent. It makes sense. This is all prep that should be done by the listing agent, okay, to get things started. All right? This is the open house scheduler board, which is going to be installed. It's here, and then we're going to be installing version number 2. And weeks to come, whenever we get this done, maybe next week. And it's literally going to become 2 big boards, 2 big whiteboards that are going to be lined out, and they're going to have all of this information plus some. They'll have the listing, who the agent is that has it listed, who the host of the open house is, and the date, time. We're going to change that a little bit because this section will be, the left-hand board will be for all of the open houses being held this Sunday. The right-hand board will be for all the open houses held the next Sunday. You follow? Because it's a 2-week process. So we've been prospecting for these open houses for 2 weeks coming on this coming Sunday, if that's when we're holding them open. Does everybody follow me so far?
Yes.
Okay. And then we got another week to get prepared for these. And because after we hold these come off and we start putting the new ones on there that we're going to be holding 2 weeks later. All right? Now, so the date time is not going to be there. It's just going to be for the whole block of them. Make sense? All of these are being held open on that Sunday, whatever. Then we have 4 extra columns that are going to be on it. The last one is, how many people attended your open house? The other 3 are, how many phone calls did you make inviting people? How many pieces of direct mail did you send out inviting people? And how many doors did you knock on to invite people to that open house? Those are going to be 3 extra columns, and then the full attendance there. So when you guys come in, and by the way, we're breaking all kinds of great news to you here as we go along, but as you guys start coming in for your weekly office meeting, are you clapping? Good, good. Sarcastically or honestly? Yeah. When you come in, what you're going to see on the board every week is going to be the results of the previous week's open house. Okay? And so if you're concerned about whether walking the neighborhood and knocking on doors would actually give you a return on that investment, you can analyze that through what the other agents have done with their open houses. You follow? I've been to many, many, many of these meetings in Weichert offices around the country. And usually it's in the early stages of someone becoming Weichert, because it takes a while to get all this stuff integrated. But that board, it's amazing when the board shows up, and there'll be 2 or 3 agents that have done, 100 door knocks and 200 phone calls and sent out a bunch of direct mail, and they're just swarmed. They got 4 leads they're working with from open houses, put 2 under contract already, since the sun, that kind of stuff. And then you've got another agent just right below them on the list that didn't have but like 4 people, they come in grumbling, that was a waste of time. And you look, and there was no phone calls made. There was no doors knocked on. There was, it was all just the signs. Okay? So we'll have that board up, and we're going to remind everybody that open houses they're our DNA. They're our bloodstream, is what they are. They will keep everything else working around them. And you'll have clients out the hoorah. Okay? All right. So prepping. Invite people, consider all your prospects, buyers you're working with who might be interested in the home, guests you met at previous open houses. So we're keeping all of our guest registers, right? And we're going to use them to call back later times. Sellers who resisted holding open house, we may go back. Now, you're going to get some listings where they just don't want an open house, correct?
I've
Never come across. Well, good. Yeah, and they're fewer, but again, it's personality, quirks. Some people
don't want to leave their house.
they don't want to leave their house.
Right.
Correct. For fear, psychological, different things, right? Yeah. Hard to sell people like that.
Very.
Very hard. Probably want to find that out up front, don't we? Probably want to decide if we want that listing or not. Yeah. Probably a good idea. Okay. All right. The sellers who resist all over the house, the sellers the comparable home need price improvement. Yeah, that's another good thing. If you got somebody that needs a price improvement, they're a good person, right?
Yeah.
For sale by owners, see your traffic and professionalism, build a relationship. Expired, see it. Neighbors. I told y'all about the girl that got 3 listings, right? Up in Michigan yesterday. Flyers in laundromats and apartment complexes, of course. Signs everywhere. Signs. Who's that? Talk about.
Oh, man.
I can't sing. Now it's gonna be on.
No, it's I usually do that.
Yeah, we'll look it up later. All right.
We'll get back to it.
Yeah, we'll get back to it. Do this, don't do that.
Tom Petty.
Can you see the sign? No, way before Tom. It was. Now, okay. Signs and balloons personify your enthusiasm and professionalism. Has anybody been in a neighborhood full of Weichert directional signs for an open house and seen that? Okay. It's pretty damn impressive. It happens what's crazy, it happens in my neighborhood all the time. 5 years ago, I downsized. I went from a almost 5,000 square foot, 5-acre, house that I'd raised the kids, through high school, last part of that. Went from that, 1,200 square foot condo. God dang, I love it. Right down into
So
it.
much less.
Oh, I just lock the door and take off. It's just beautiful. I had time for my life for that. But I'm in a neighborhood where our local Weichert office has really come on in the last 5 or 6 years, and it's a joy. Every Saturday and Sunday I wake up, it's a yellow. There's balloons and signs everywhere. And I'm out riding my bike, and I tell you what was interesting. It was my friends for 7 or 8 years. We'd have an office in Louisville, and they go, "Who you work for?" Weichert. They go, "Who the hell's Weichert?" He hadn't heard of Weichert. And then we have that office come in, and now that's all they talk about. You damn yell as that. There was a guy on a bicycle he complained. He said he got distracted by one of the balloons. He fell off his bike in the neighborhood, and that made the news a little bit. Well, that was great because everybody thinks he's an idiot. He rides bike, but he got Weichert out there, right? Okay. Signs and balloons. Guess first impression. They're clean. Use at least 8 directional signs. 8 directional signs. More if the home's way out there. That's what I was talking about earlier. You might need more than that. Bring buyers in from 2 or more major thoroughfares. Be aware of local ordinances. Do y'all have any real restrictive sign ordinances?
Yeah.
What are they?
Yeah.
You can't be 10. You have to be outside of the 10 foot off the main.
Okay, so you got to be on private property.